What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, HalferLand Performance, HalferLand Videos. I am so sorry. I'm gonna keep saying it. It has been so busy, and I thank you guys so much, literally so much, for the support, for the orders and everything. Been a crap ton, a shit ton of PMP work lately. So I've had my hands tied with that. I really want to get on to building the race car a little bit. But as you'll see, man, I mean, I have a ton of new releases on our online store. So we just came out with our negative two-step colder spark plugs, our ultra performance spark plugs, which are great. We made a small revision, added a iridium tip to the top side strap, which should help for a better, stronger spark, better arc between the electrode and the strap, for any of the boosted guys, even NA guys. If you're running a high horsepower, high compression NA motor, you don't want to stay with stock heat. You want to be at least negative one step colder, if not two step colder. And then if you're running nitrous, so it's a great nitrous and it's a great turbo plug. And we also have our stock heat plugs, which will be here next week. We literally just got them on order, so they will be here next week. So we got that. Then we have our other release that we just listed is our 4-bar map sensor. Very excited about that. Happy to be partnering with the people that we are there. And that 4-bar map sensor, so if you look around and you look at other map sensors, high name, you know, there's what, KTUNER, HONDATA, the majority of them are going to be $80 plus, where our 4-bar map sensor comes with a 1-year warranty, and it is only $39.99, or $39.95, I'm sorry. So $39 compared to $80 to $100 for other competitor 4-bar map sensors. And again, we have our 1-year warranty. Also, on our online store, all of our cams are on sale for this month, which is ending in like a day. I don't know how many. I think there's 30 days in August, right? Let's see. There's 31 days in August. So there's going to be there's 3 more days left on the cam sale, guys. If you want to get in on it, go ahead. Like I said, all cams are on sale. I believe it's $30 off our Stage 2 and then our MDX. We're all sold out of our RL. You guys came through and you swooped them all up. So once again, guys, just wanted to thank you. This video that I'm going to be rendering, it's old. It's shot before I even put the turbo system on. Something I did notice that I did wrong on this video is I did not remove all of the spark plugs. Now, it's not going to affect the results all that much. It just makes the motor easier to turn over, because those spark plugs, they do cause resistance, where if you remove them, obviously that piston can come up and it's not creating that compression, where it would only create compression in that one cylinder that you have the tool threaded into. So that's the one mistake I made. It will affect the reading. It may be higher with them out, but the thing you're looking for on compression test is, yes, you're looking for a good number, but really you're looking for consistency. You want those cylinders to be, you know, 5 to 8%, sometimes at the max like 10% difference. That's the max that you want to see. If you see one cylinder that's 20% out on the compression from another, then you know you have an issue. So that's what I was trying to relay here, is that, yeah, I left the spark plugs in, which you should remove them, but it's really not a big deal, because what you're looking for is consistency on the compression, and that lets you know how healthy your motor is. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. If you want to show us support, patreon.com as always /HalferLand Performance, or you can buy our stickers on our online store. 100% of those proceeds go to sourcing new parts and R&D, such as our cams, our map sensors. We got 10,000 RPM turbo, high revving valve springs in the works. So once again, all that money from the stickers goes to new product R&D and sourcing. So if you guys want to show your support, I greatly appreciate it. Check out our stickers on our online store. Also, like I said, don't forget, we got 3 days left on the cam sale, and next month, each month I revolve the sales. So each month the sale will go to a different type of product. Not sure what it's going to be next month, but like I said, if you guys want cams, we have 3 days left in August, and that's when the sale ends. Anyways, guys, enjoy the video, and I'll catch you later.
HalferLand videos.
And if they focus on my name, just 'cause she
Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to HalferLand videos. Today I want to go ahead and I want to check my compression. Just to dive right into the video, I'm going to go ahead and I want to check my compression so I can go back and I can refer to that later on once the motor gets a little older. I want to see, you know, exactly what the compression is now versus, you know, say 10, 20,000 miles being turbocharged. I'm pretty sure it's going to drop a little bit. You know, that would be caused by wear or even the valves being out of adjustment just a hair. But mostly it's going to be a piston ring wear, which would cause most of that lost compression or even seals. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. It's a very straightforward procedure. You just need to take out whatever cylinder you want to do first. So just to review, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will go ahead and I guess I'll start with 1. You just want to take that one spark plug out first, and then you screw in your compression tool. It just hooks up to air. I'm sorry, it doesn't hook up to air. This, you would pick which one it is. That is the correct sizing for the spark plug. You screw this part in, this goes here, and then you need to take your fuel pump relay, or not relay, your fuel pump fuse out. So obviously the motor doesn't get fuel and it doesn't start. Crank it over. I always crank it over about 10 times. I just I count that 10 times. And then I get out, I check it, and I get my little pad, which I don't have now, and then I do that. So let's get started, you guys. Nothing huge, just a little squirt on the finger. It's always good to oil O-rings or even threads, you know, especially in a head. You don't want, dude, man, I've come across a fair amount of cylinder heads where they've had stripped out spark plug holes. They were just people just torque them down too much. So what you want to do with a spark plug, you want to get it down, you want to back it down all the way till it stops, just barely where it stops. I mean, like no pressure on it at all, just where it bottoms out. And then from there you want to go 45, that's it. Or I'm sorry, 90. You want to go 90, that's it. So again, bottom it out and then go 90, leave it, that's it. That's all you want to do. All right, let's get this bad boy in. All right, get him in there. You want to make sure that it's in there. So this could be a little pain in the ass too, because you want to make sure that you don't cross thread or anything, and then to spin it, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So that's why it's always good I always just take care of the back first, because the back's going to be the hardest usually. So like I can't even get this bitch to spin. How did I do this before? Oh, it's not spinning at all. Well, it's in there.
There we go. Spinning like this. Must not be spun in there correctly. There. Alright, now I got it broke loose. So now I want to, like I said, this could be a pain in the ass sometimes, guys. So you gotta just be careful. You want to make sure, like I said, you do not want to cross thread it at all, ever. So you're gonna have to spin it around like, kind of like I am. Make sure you get it in there. There it goes, finally. All right, let's fast forward here. All right, once you got it on there, you don't need to torque it way down. Just once you feel it stop, just give it a little bit of a twist like this, and that should be fine. Hook your gauge up. All right, and then now you want to go over to the car, and down here at the kick panel, you are going to want to pull the fuel pump. So the way it sits like this. So this is how it's going to be over there. It's going to be reverse. You pull it out, and then you look at it, you're like, which way? So it's going to be the first 15 in the middle row from the right. All right. Now with the key in, obviously, and you got the fuse out, you can see it there. You're gonna push the clutch in if you're manual. Make sure you're in neutral, and then you're gonna obviously crank it over. Like I said, I like to crank it over 10 times. Just what I do. I have a small battery, so I may not do it that many times. Let's do 7. I'm gonna do 7, just like this, and then turn it over. That's it. Now let's see. See what it's at, and it says 180. 180 on cylinder 1. I'm actually gonna give it like 2 more cranks just to make sure that is the top that the cylinder will hold. All right. So there's only a certain amount that a cylinder can hold, and once you meet that, it's not going to go above that. So as you can see, I went a little above, so let's go ahead and clear that. All right. So the starter is actually turning over a lot quicker than I thought. So I'm just going to count out in seconds. I'm going to count it out in seconds instead of cranks. So I'm going to do 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. All right, that was 4 Mississippi. And at 4 Mississippi, I have 200. So you got 80, 90, 95. That's really like 98, 198. 198. So there you go. And then you just repeat this process. So let's go ahead and clear this out. Oh, no, it doesn't want to bleed out. This happened to me a few times where it doesn't want to bleed out. So what I do, I just go ahead and I release it like that. It lets out a big bang. Not the best, but fuck it. And then I'm going to try it one more time. Make sure that the results are the same. And we have exactly the same. 180, 190, 195, 198. And like I said, sometimes this thing's a pain in the ass. So then you move on to cylinder number 2. And that's it. I'm going to keep going along. Something I did want to touch on, the point to a compression check is not to get the highest damn number that you can. Not like, oh man, my compression was 250. No. you want to pick a certain amount. Like I said, 5 Mississippi is what I'm running with. I used to do 7 cranks, but it's cranking over a hell of a lot quicker than I remember. But anyways, it's not to get the highest number that you possibly can. It's to make sure, yes, to a certain point, you want to make sure that number is high enough. Like, if this was at 100, I'd be like, what the fuck? But you want to make sure that the compression is damn near pretty much within line to each cylinder. You don't want a variance more than whatever the book says. I believe it's, 5 to 10%. From each other, 5 to 10% off of each other. And once you see that, then you know there's an issue. And from there, you would need to do like a leak down where you force air back in, and then you can check to see if it's leaking past the valves, if it's leaking past the rings, or where it's basically coming from. But right now, I'm just gonna keep moving along. Right now I'm on cylinder 2, so I want to be pretty damn near close. I want to be 180 or close to that. I can't be any lower. I don't want to be any lower than really 180. I don't know if you guys saw it on the last clip right there, or the last scene, but I did my 5 seconds or my five turnovers, and instead of 195, it did shoot up to like 210, 220. So this just kind of goes back to my point that you're not trying to get the highest damn number. If I wanted to, I can keep cranking it over till 10 turns or 15 turns, and then just let it max out on the cylinder pressure. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for consistency over a certain amount of time, and that's what I'm getting at the moment. I'm getting exactly what I want. I mean, that's 3 psi off. That could have been me just not simply, or letting off like a couple milliseconds too late or too early, you know what I mean? So I'm liking this. One full turn is that's the sound, but it's like that's one full turn. I'm just counting Mississippi. The second I click the key, I go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and that actually relates right back to the turn. So they're basically the same unit of measure, if you want to call it that. I mean, even today in modern drag cars, even with today's technology, they still go back and they still read the plugs, because nothing is better than going and physically looking at a plug and seeing what's happening during the combustion process with these motors in each individual cylinder. So here you can see there's a good amount of carbon deposit at the base of the plug. It's not on the electrode, so that's good, but you see that black, that base? I just want to know what that is. So I wouldn't have known that unless I pulled the plug to do a compression check. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with my Borescope, and I'm going to look and see if there's any, crazy shit going on. Maybe the valve is hitting there. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go in and I'm going to check with my Wi-Fi Borescope, or just scope in general, whatever the hell it's called, to see if I can find any issues. Alright guys, hopefully you were able to see what I was seeing. I went in there with the Borescope and everything looks good. Might have just been a little bit of oil that, I don't know, somehow got past the seal or whatever it may have been, and it just caused a little bit of blow by or whatever the hell it may have been. Maybe just a little bit of oil into the combustion chamber, and that's what caused the soot there, because it's definitely oil, burnt oil. But everything looks good in there. The top of the piston did look a little oily, not much, just a little bit. So it might have just been the excessive I did lube the shit out of the heads before putting them on. I mean, the cams had a shitload of oil, the valve seal, so that might have been just a little bit dripped down before the motor was started, and then when I started it, there you go. Now you got oil in the combustion chamber. So like I said, everything looked good. Once again, no marks on the piston whatsoever. The only one, so out of these three, that one, the only one I found a mark, one mark, and it was the slightest mark ever that I had. You can look at my last video, was on cylinder number 5, and it was a very, very slight graze. It wasn't an impact or like a carving like it was there. It touched just enough that it left a little like a fingerprint almost. I wouldn't call it a fingerprint, but it just removed any of the carbon buildup, and that was it. Like I said, it didn't carve into it. It just took off that the surface buildup that was there. So that's how I knew it was there. Very happy with this thing. It was like $20 on eBay, man. If you guys got the money to get it, or you even care, or you even care to do something like this with your car, I highly recommend it. It's a great tool. Second time I've used it already, and it's given me peace of mind thus far. Alright guys, to recap the video, compression testing is a great procedure or a great tool to use. If you guys don't have it, get it. It's affordable. I believe it's $15 to $20 if I'm not mistaken. If you go on eBay or even Harbor Freight and grab a cheap one, a compression test tool, it's not going to run you a lot of money. It's a great way to test to see how healthy your motor is. And when I say healthy, I mean per cylinder, compared to each cylinder. You want to make sure they're all running right around the same. Now, if this number was down to like 120, once again, guys, I know guys that go to 10 revolutions or 10 turns, and they're pushing out the max cylinder pressure. That is not what I'm doing here. For example, I pushed it up to 8, and you could see that in the video, if you go back, I pushed it up to 8 seconds or 8 turns just to see what it would do, and it was pushing in the 220s. So the cylinder pressure that these cylinder or this motor can hold is a lot higher than what I was running at. I was testing at 5 seconds or 5 turns revolutions, so it was and that was it. So 5 seconds, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5, and I was cutting it off. The front bank 4, 5, 6, I went a little longer. I went 5.5, 6, and you can see that it went from 198, 195, 198, 212, 208, 205, and I started realizing that I was going a little long, so I backed it down a little bit, and you can see that here. But pretty much these are very good numbers, you guys. Nearly 200 across the board. At 5 seconds, that's not even reaching the max cylinder pressure that this motor can have. That's very impressive. And you do have to realize that I'm running 11.5 or 11.5 to 1 compression, where that old motor was right around 11 to 1. No, that was 10.5. That motor was 10.5 to 1, because I did deck the heads. And I believe on that motor it was 160s, 170s in compression. So you can just tell right there off the rip that that motor was down a little bit. It was getting old. It was 200,000 miles, just about. And you can see the cross hatching in these cylinders were basically non-existent. It was super smooth. I don't know if you could see in there, but there was next to no cross hatching. You can see a little better here. Straight up and down lines, there was I don't know if you can see it there. There was basically no cross hatching, guys. There was some other wear marks, as you can see here, up and down. That's just from, like, obviously that particles getting caught between the piston and the wall. But yeah, basically all the cross hatching or honing was gone in those cylinders. And I think that's why it did really so well on nitrous, because it was allowing a good amount of blow by, a decent amount of blow by, so it wasn't as hard on the motor as the nitrous should have been. But you know, it's a pro and a con to everything. But anyways, guys, hope this was helpful. Once again, you are looking for consistency across the board. You are not looking for max or peak temps or pressures. You're just looking for consistency across the board, or across each cylinder. I do 5 seconds or 5 turns. You guys can do whatever you want. I do not advise of going anywhere higher than 8. You could max it out if you want, just to see what the highest number is. Then I would crank it out at 10 just to see what that peak number could be. And if it doesn't peak, keep cranking it just to see what the peak number would be. But and then lastly, I believe I misspoke when I said 90 degrees on the spark plug. So back it down till it bottoms out, and then you want to go 45. You want to go half of 90. So this is 90, you want to go 45. So bottom it out, 45, and that's it. And you'll see that's about the amount of resistance you want before it starts. You can tell that it's going to start stripping anywhere beyond that. All right, guys, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, please like, share, subscribe, do all that good shit. All right, guys, bye.